Hello guys. In this video, we're going to talk about the 2016 movie Dexterity. Because of the loss of his father and the sudden death of his mother, a young magician named Bo has been earning a living for himself and his younger sister Tina through street magic for a year. Mama is not limited because his goal is to become a successful magician. Bo has implanted a device in his shoulder with wires running to his fingers just under his skin. The mechanism reads all the possible options, and all the magician has to do is make a motion with his hand so that the light metal object starts to vanish and move in the desired direction. Bo and his little sister live in a house of light which the boy does not easily pay. This has prompted the magician to tie his life to the illegal sale of substances. Bo often asks his roommate Jordy to stay with Tina until she falls asleep so she doesn't have to worry about her sister and go to work. Another transaction is interrupted by police officers. One of them was sure that he saw something forbidden in Bo's hand, but thanks to his skills and dexterity the young man manages to hide the evidence unnoticed, and the cops let the guy go without finding anything. In the morning, BL helps his sister with breakfast and goes to his employer Angela. The man is pleased with the boy's work and Bo receives praise from him. Angela, the man's name, asks him to find out about a new unknown drug dealer who has encroached on Angel's lucrative territory. Bo promises to report if he learns anything and heads to a club where he notices a deal with a man unknown to him. Bo deliberately provokes the dealer into a confrontation in order to steal the cell phone unnoticed. Thanks to this, magician manages to find out the name of the dealer and the guy immediately informs Angelo. The next day, Bo meets a girl named Holly. She leaves a note with her phone number when Bo impresses her with tricks on the street. The pair meet in a cafe and get to know each other. The girl talks about her college studies, her job at a pastry shop, and her sick mother who needs care. The date is interrupted by an urgent call from Angelo, causing Bo to have to leave Holly, but she demands to see her again in the near future. Angelo plans to pay an uninvited visit to Marissa and hands his courier a real gun. Up to this point, Bo has never had to get involved in a serious showdown. The partners arrive at the meeting place and begin threatening all foes with guns. Bo, while inspecting the room due to intense excitement, drops the gun, which Maris' comrade suddenly tries to pick up. Thanks to Angelo's man who intervened, Bo is left unharmed and the weapon is kept out of the enemy's hands. During the negotiation, one of Maris' friends shows his disrespect for Angelo by throwing playing chips at him. In response, the man beats him up and explains to Maris the only terms of employment in his territory. The guy has to sell strictly Angelo's product and give a portion of the income to him. The man lets Maris think alone and leaves the uninvited guests with his partners. Bo returns home and confesses to his neighbor Georgie. The guy worries about the change in Angelo, who has never before today raided a competitor or behaved like a thug. Bo is determined to quit his illegal work. The guy stays away from crime for a few days and surprises passers-by with tricks. One night Bo invites Holly home for a family dinner with Georgie's place. The girl's acquaintance is interrupted by Angelo, who suddenly shows up and asks Bo to go with him again to see Maris, as he continues to deal in spite of warnings. Bo lets Holly stay with Tina and George, and he goes off with Angelo. They kidnap Maris outside the club by putting a bag over his head. As punishment for disobedience, Bo orders him to deprive the trafficker of his arm, threatening violence if the boy refuses. Bo is forced to agree. The deed he has done makes the young man sick. Angelo brings the boy home and orders him to sell a kilo of the substance and invites him to his party at the end of the week. Upon entering the house, Bo hides the goods and finds Holly asleep on the couch. He wakes her up by inviting her to his bed. Holly accepts the offer, but with the proviso that it's just the two of them. Bo lends the girl his t-shirt and notices abrasions and bruises on her body. The guy didn't dare to find out where they came from and the couple fell asleep. In the morning, Holly quietly leaves and Bo discovers a note thanking him for the t-shirt and asking him to write to her. Later, the young man decides to mix the boss's powder with baking soda to sell more of the product and then give the necessary cut to Angelo and keep $15 million with him. In the magician's opinion, this will be enough to tie him up. He tells his plan to his neighbor, but she finds his actions very dangerous. Bo is convinced it's too late to back out. During the trade, the guy gets a call from Holly asking him to come see her. The girl finds solace from her mother's beatings next to Bo in his house. Holly attributes the abuse from her relative to her worries about the divorce. Bo does not want to listen to her mother's excuses and offers to let the girl stay with him as long as she wants. Holly thanks him and kisses the boy. In the morning, the girl notices a strange device in Bo's shoulder and asks a natural question. As a child, Bo and her parents met an old magician. He told her that he stabbed his arm with a knife time after time until it became stiff. The man covered all the marks with latex, so that the scars were hidden from view. This made the trick real, and people wondered how the old man got the knife into his hand without much trouble. Bo is convinced that if a man does something that other magicians can't, he's a real magician. Later, the guy modifies his mechanism and learns how to move heavier metal objects at an even greater distance. During a movie night, Bo calls Angelo again and reminds him of tonight's party, to which the guy has been invited. Angelo takes Bo out for a private conversation. The man beats the guy up and lets him know he knows about the powder and soda. Angelo gives Bo a few days to pay back all the money with interest and drives the magician away from his house. Bo returns home where he tells the truth about his activities to Holly. The girl offers to sell what's left and promises to come up with something. Bo decides to do so, combining trade with tricks, sparing no effort. Eventually, the guy manages to make $35,914. Holly adds her $900, which the girl has been saving for her studies. Bo accepts the money with great gratitude and promises to pay it all back. That leaves another $9,000. The guy decides to go to a fast loan company, where he is rejected. Tina begins to cry, noticing the anxiety in his older brother's face, and Bo decides to take the girls to an arcade. During this, the guy is approached by a customer, Luna, who wants to buy a powder. The girl in front of the magician opens a safe with money, and the guy decides to open it. He steals the keys to the office from Luna and uses his device to deploy the cameras, creating a blind spot. In the office, the guy has no trouble cracking the safe and puts the money in his backpack, nearly getting caught by one of Luna's men. Bo discreetly returns the keys to the lady and notices Maris, who has chased the magician. Bo gets out of the club and runs into an alleyway where he is overtaken by the bad guy's men. One of the guys hit Bo, causing him to lose consciousness. The magician wakes up in the trunk of a car in handcuffs and using his skills removes them from his hands. Thanks to the device, he manages to open the trunk of the escape, leaving Maris and his men with nothing. Wa decides to spend the night at his roommates with Tina and Holly. He notices Angelo and his men sneaking into his house and making a mess. The guy calls his impatient boss and asks for a little more time. Instead, Angelo adds $5,000 to the amount owed as a fine. Bo comes home and sees the whole mess. He puts his hands down, because there are no more options left to make a quick buck. Holly suggests that everyone just leave town together. The boy rushes to school to pick up Tina, but he is informed that her sister was taken by her uncle. Unbeknownst to his relatives, Angelo turns out to have called Bo and reminded him once again about the money. The magician decides to ask his former teacher from school, Mr. Granger, for help. The man helps to improve the mechanism in Bo's hand with a feedback generator. Enlisting his help and the soldering iron, Bo realizes the plan. Now he has enough power to move his body a decent distance to the car. The guy drives up to Angelo's house and asks Holly to call the police if he isn't back with Tina in 30 minutes. Upon entering the house, Bo stops the party by ripping out one of Angelo's men's metal teeth by beating the other assailant with his own bat. Angered by the magician's insolence, Angelo decides to finish the guy off by shooting him 3 times. To everyone's surprise, Bo stops the rushing bullets. The guy aims one bullet straight at Angelo's head and the latter, unable to withstand the pressure, tells him where Tina is. Bo pays back the debt and leaves to get his sister. Angelo leaves her with his aunt, who is looking after the kidnapped girl. The trio decides to move to San Diego. After a while, their lives begin to get better. Bo acts as a street magician, Tina learns well at her new school and is helped by Holly. At night, the girl wakes up and is delighted to see her boyfriend testing out his new trick, which is left out of the picture. That's the end of the movie. That's all for today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. Thanks for watching.